This episode is brought to you by Americas Rehab Campus. Get on the road to recovery with the best rehab in beautiful Arizona. Dial 1-833-272-7342. That's 1-833-ARC-REHAB.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to the ARCast.
Good morning. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the ARCast. My name is Buddha.
And I'm Michaela.
We are here today. I was just thinking before, I have my brother in here. I'm going to introduce him in a second. But, when we started scheduling these episodes, there was a lot of, all right, who are we going to bring in here? Who are people that have influenced me? People that have motivated me, that have an amazing story, and working with ARC for the last few years, I had a blessing. It's an opportunity to be able to meet this gentleman that we have in the studio today. I'm going to get into it a little bit later on why you're an inspiration to me. But for now, I just want the world, man, to stand up and give you a big round of applause. Much love to our brother Justin is in the studio with us today. What's going on, Justin? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Buddha.
Hey, thank you, man, for coming through. It's crazy, bro, how God works sometimes, man.
Amen.
How have you been? What you been up to lately?
Man, exercising still for sure.
Yeah, you still getting it in?
Yes, sir. Monday through Friday.
Oh, dude.
Religiously.
I need motivation, bro. I've fallen off the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just like it's the stress, man. My brother-in-law, we're all like on this text thread and we're trying to motivate each other. And the reason why I'm talking about this, you guys will hear it later in the episode, but Justin plays a vital role in somebody who really inspired me when it came to like the working out and the fitness and all of that type of stuff. But yeah, man, I've been trying to stay motivated, dog, and it's hard. How do you keep doing that every day? Man,
it's just a part of my routine, bro. I've worked it into it, just like how waking up, getting high was a routine, I've just, traded a negative routine for a positive one, man.
That's it.
Yeah, I just do it. Some days I don't want to do it, but I do it.
Yeah, consistency is so important. I just finished the 75 hard, but I did it for 40 days.
Did you really?
I did, and I finished last week, and I can't, like you saying, like your routine changing, like I wake up in the morning and like I know I'm going to get up, I'm going to make my like natural pre-workout, and I'm going to go to the gym. Like that is ingrained in my head now. And it's like, now when I'm like, if I'm stressed, instead of being like, oh, I want to go get like soda or, a treat, I'm like, no, I need to get a workout in.
Yeah, definitely.
And it changes it for you.
Yeah, big time. Like diet is very, another big thing. I eat the same thing pretty much every day.
Do you really?
Yeah, chicken, rice, and avocado, man.
That's it?
Weigh it out. I went from dope scales to food scales.
Hey, man. I mean, no, that makes perfect sense. I think for me, the hardest part is like when I started doing these workouts here at ARC, man, it was like a huge change for me because I was doing them for a while and I wasn't losing any weight. Mm-hmm. But I was also like used to doing the P90X and all of those workouts, and I would do them and then I could eat whatever I wanted, bro. Like no shit. I could eat a whole pizza or whatever. And the weight was just falling off of me. So when I got back into it in my 30s, I was like, bro, I'm like getting paid to work out now. Like there's no excuse. I can eat whatever. That whole year when I first started doing the workouts, I wasn't losing weight. And then the big change for me was fasting.
Right.
Like that really changed a lot for me, like getting away from sugar, just processed carbohydrates in general. Like I even stayed away from like regular carbs, like potatoes and stuff for a while too, just because insulin resistance. But yeah, man, I've been having a hard time with the consistency. Like I was waking up all the time during the summer, swimming, doing that. And then the winter came and it's like having to change and adapt with your habits at the same time.
Yeah. I feel like definitely seasons play a big part of it. Like looking back on the winter time, I feel like I was bigger in the winter. Like I had more mass. Maybe it's just because it's harder to eat when it's hot out. I don't know. But yeah, no, it definitely plays a big factor into it. The seasons, and we change with the seasons.
Yeah. Bro, man, we're gonna touch on that a little bit, man. But I wanna get started. I don't know if you've ever had an opportunity to listen to some of the episodes, But what we do is we typically dive deep and we start from like your past, how you were brought up.
Yeah. I actually listened to my wife. My wife works here. Her name's Angelique.
Shout out to Angelique.
Yeah, she did a podcast with you guys. So
Giving her the air horns, bro. Yes, I had to lower it, though, as I ain't trying to blow no one's ear. Shout out to Angelique. Thank you so much for connecting Justin and I and getting him on the show. I really appreciate you.
Yep. Good looking, babe.
Yeah, man. So where are you from, bro?
So I'm born and raised in Tucson.
You are born and raised.
Yep. Grew up on this side of town. I actually used to run around this hotel before it was the Arc.
All right. Now I have way more questions. Okay.
Yeah, man. And it's kind of crazy how God works full circle, you know, and brought me back through as a client. I detoxed here a couple times and then finally got into residential probably in like 2019.
Well, wait, let's go back real quick. So were you born on the east side?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So you went to school here, did all of that stuff.
Yep.
In your household when you grew up, let's go back. Did you have your mom and dad growing up?
Yeah, they're both in my life, mom and dad. They divorced at an early age. My dad, he was a lot older, man. He was born in 1945. My mom was born in 69. So there was a huge age difference.
Okay.
You know, my dad, he was a Marine in the Vietnam War, Purple Heart, Bronze Star, V device, pistol expert, rifle expert.
Man.
Like, was a killer, bro.
He's just one of those strong soldier dudes.
Yeah,
bro.
vicious. And yeah, was successful, owned a business down here, and he employed my mom's brothers, and that's how he ended up meeting my mom when she was around like 18, 19, come strolling through looking all young and cute, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's like a 20 age difference, right? At least.
Yeah.
So growing up, did you have any other siblings and stuff?
Yeah, I got a brother and a half sister, but I'm closer with my brother.
Okay. And it's same mom, same dad?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, with my half sister, no, I have a half sister.
Okay.
She's got a different mom. Different mom.
And how was it growing up under a father that was, much older and had that type of discipline, that military discipline? Do you feel like a lot of that is what keeps you on track today?
Yeah, 100%. At the time, though, it sucked.
I bet, dude.
Yeah.
I bet, man.
Yeah, it really sucked, man. And I didn't get it. And nor should like a child get that,
Yeah.
Now it definitely taught me like work ethic at an early age. Like I remember laying gravel, bro, when I was like 4,
Wow.
like just because he's kind of doing work, and like he would come in the bedroom and our beds had to be made a certain way. He would like flip a quarter, and I don't know what the quarter like symbolized, like if it bounced or didn't bounce. I don't even know, bro, but it was pretty whack. Like we'd get grounded, like if the quarter didn't do something, I don't even know. But like just some old military type stuff, man. But yeah, looking back now, like he's no longer with me, man. He died when I was 16 of lung cancer.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, so that's what like plays a lot into my trauma, into what led me to go down the route that I did for so many years.
Okay. All right. So I mean, growing up, you said that they had divorced. How old were you when that happened?
Man, they were off and on, bro, for a while. Like my dad always remained faithful to my mom. It was more or less like my mom, she and I'm not trying to like bag on my mom or nothing, but she, had different boyfriends here and there.
Yeah.
I love her to death. It's just, and that's kind of also too what led me into like a more worldly lifestyle by learning things through my mom, like the more the merrier,
Yeah.
Be a player type deal.
Yeah.
Gave me my first condoms at like 8, bro.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, she was a lot younger too.
Right. Right.
So that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
What did you end up going what high school did you go to? Did you graduate?
I did graduate. I went to Cienega for about 2 years. I had to repeat freshman year twice because I would never go to school. And then I eventually went to like a charter school that was called Pantano.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's still out there. They still have it. It's a lot bigger than when I was there. It was like 60 of us when I graduated.
Yeah, I know exactly what that's like, man. I failed 8th grade. I had to do it twice, and then I went to a charter school to finally finish.
But definitely, I got the diploma, man.
That's good.
Yep.
That's so good, dude. And it's funny because I got my diploma right before I turned 21. And, man, I'm so grateful for my mom for writing my ass and making me go because at the time I said I did it for her. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, it's not even about me. I'm just thinking about it, hearing you say that. It's like, man, like, it just brings back a lot of memories or whatever. But yeah, it's rough. It's rough. It changes. That changes you. And then on top of everything else you were experiencing, with your pops at 16 years old, I'm guessing you were like a sophomore, when that happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, about a sophomore.
And before that happened with your pops, had you dabbled in anything? Like I know, you talked about being younger.
Yeah. So it was like a slow death, bro. It wasn't like, at 16, he just like died. Like he started dying when I was 8, bro. He had open heart surgeries and stuff. He was a heavier man by this time in his age, never really put down cigarettes until he was like diagnosed with cancer. But yeah, it was like, you know, he was this huge figure in my life. And I mean, like big, you know, in the sense of like he was a big guy. He had a big personality, you know, until like I said, about 8. And then he kind of started like deteriorating. And yeah, just kind of watching him die like for a few years.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Did you dabble in any drugs?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, around like, I used to take, man, by that time, he died when I was 16. So by the time I was 8, man, I smoked weed for the first time. And this is with like some of my moms. She would, you know, she's always been an alcoholic and smoked weed and stuff. She loves her alcohol still to this day. And yeah, I started smoking weed with one of her friend's son. He was like 16 at the time. So my brother must have been like 10 and I was 8. And then she came in the room and like caught us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But that's like where it starts, man, like age 8. And then, you know, cocaine around 13,
okay.
Alcohol.
And was your mom aware that you were doing that at the time? I know you said she caught you with the weed.
Yeah, she caught us, and then she would try like, you know, setting us up, like come outside and smoke with me. She'd be all faded, and then we did that one time. She's like, yeah, now I know you smoke.
Oh. Setting you up.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, so all right, so you went to school, you graduated. At this time, you know, you're dealing with the death of your pops and everything going on in your life. Were you working at the time?
I did end up working towards like maybe senior year. My first job ever was at the base at the BX. Super dope job, man.
That's cool.
You know, a buddy of my mom, or a friend of mine, his mom was like the HR lady for the BX. So that's how I was able to get in there as a civilian. You know, okay. So yeah, I got the clearance to get on the base and everything. But by that time, bro, I was already addicted to Percocets, and it didn't last long. Yeah.
How old were you when you first started the perks?
So my dad, just take this back. It all goes back to like with my dad, right? He was prescribed 30 milligram morphines because he was dying. Well, you know,
yeah.
So he was a cancer patient. He had those like on hand, and he would never miss, like he wouldn't know that they were missing.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of where I got the taste for opiates, bro. I'm an opiate addict, you know, recovering now, thank God.
Yeah.
But that's where I got that taste for opiates at an early age by stealing his pills.
Did the desire for taking your dad's pills come because you wanted that escape, or was it just like kind of something to do because, you know, that my grandfather went through hospice in our home, so I know like that feeling of just like there's medicine everywhere and things are just, and sometimes you're just looking around like, well, what's that do, I wonder, you know?
Yeah, I think music had a lot to do with it. Like this is like, I mean, grew up in the early 2000s, and you know, I was born in 92. So there's like a lot of like, for instance, Little White had this song like Oxycontin or something like that, right? And like that's just a small example, but a lot of it was like music influence. Like I thought I was like just like the hardest little kid ever. Like, you know, I'd listen to the music and it would like really influence me in a bad way. And I think that's where I maybe got the seed planted.
Man, that's crazy. No one ever talks about that. It's so true though.
Yeah.
So true.
You know, so it's like I always hung out with some older kids in the neighborhood, and like they're both dead now, you know, like due to like some gang violence type stuff. But yeah, that's, you know, it was definitely influenced by like my neighborhood, who I was hanging out with, and you know, your environment. You are your environment, right? So
yeah, no, definitely, man. Did you get involved in gangs and stuff too?
Yeah, it's crazy, bro, because like I grew up in the suburbs, man, but like, yo, our suburb was like so hard, bro. Like we were like, you know, out there stealing
like
stuff.
Rancho Cucamonga.
Yo, bad, bro. Like we were bad little kids, man. Like going carjacking every night.
Wow.
You know, I had a drug dealer at 13, like dropping us coke and weed. Like we were selling. Like my homie's house would get raided in the 8th grade. Like it was wild, bro. Just because we're in the suburbs, like that didn't mean nothing. Like,
yeah, it don't mean shit, bro. I mean, if you're looking for it, you're gonna find it.
Yeah, and boy, did it find us.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're out there, you're causing, you know, trouble just being a kid, you know. But at the same time, like Michaela said, it's that escape, right? Because I mean, at that age, you can't even really fathom what is going on and like how to process and compartmentalize, you know, your thoughts and your behaviors and stuff like that. So it's just running wild. You know, how did the death with your pops, did that affect your mom too? Do you feel like that, you know, changed her as well?
Yeah, I'm sure it did, you know, and that was like, at the end of the day, that was like her only husband she's ever had, the, you know, father of her kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure it did, but differently than us. you know, I definitely went to the streets when that did happen, and she, you know, did her own thing and kind of had the house to manage and everything.
And the only reason why I bring that up is because, you know, we hear about people mentally checking out. I mean, we're all human beings, bro, and we all struggle, right? That's what the Bible says. We're all going to struggle. We're going to go through stuff. But at the same time, it's like even when you're an adult, it's hard to kind of get a grasp on what is going on. And sometimes we just mentally check out, even when we have responsibilities, you know?
Yeah. Speaking about God, man, like my dad, he would take us to church. We grew up in the Catholic church. And it was more of like a form of punishment. Me and my brother would be all hungover and he would drag us to Sunday, like going to church. And it was like just real weird, man. And like ritualistic and incense flying and then getting up and kneeling. And I'm about to puke just from like squatting, bro. Like, like,
so it wasn't introduced to you as like a relationship with Jesus. It was just like, hey, you were out doing your shit. Now you're gonna pay the price.
Yep. It wasn't a relationship, like you said.
And was that something he did just when you guys were hungover, or was it every Sunday? No,
it was every Sunday. I don't know when it started, but I know he was like trying his best with what he knew, right?
Yeah.
You know, like what his relationship with God was. I mean, at least he tried, and that's.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, that definitely like planted some seeds later on. You know, I don't even know if he had a relationship with God, but I do know like on his deathbed, man, like we had like the priest come in and like I could definitely see that he wanted to get right with God.
That's good.
Big time.
That's good, man. I mean, that's a trip, man. I mean, you see such changes in people from those moments. It really makes you just realize how small we are, bro, on this big old planet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I always knew that there was something, bro, like something greater than myself. I just didn't know, like, for one, like it was Jesus Christ, right?
Yeah, man. Wow. Okay, so let's fast forward, man. Going, you know, back to what we were talking about when you started doing like doing the opiates and stuff. Did you ever sell drugs? Did you ever do anything like that?
Yeah, both. You know, mainly to support a habit. I was always like a pretty bad, like just like a street drug addict, bro. Like, you know, just a half a gram a day type deal. And then I did try selling and this and that. You know, this has gone on for like 20 years. So you can imagine like there was a lot of picking up, selling, and doing a bunch of just shady stuff. I was in prison for a while.
Really?
Yeah. So, you know, I caught a charge when I was 19 for attempted armed robbery. I robbed a gas station here on like 29th and Swan or Craycroft. Yeah. But that saved my life, bro. Like I went into prison at a young age. That saved my life. I got out when I was like 23. I'm 30 now. So it's been almost like 8 years since I've been out.
Yeah. And I think it's important to talk about because, I mean, that's one, I think, misconception that people have that are not in recovery, that don't understand this world of addiction. A lot of the times, and this is just me speculating here, maybe you can fill me in, I'm sure even doing that armed robbery thing, it was probably because you wanted your drugs.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like looking at Justin in his right state of mind, a faithful man, not using, sober, they would never think about doing
Bro, I can't look at a candy bar cross-eyed.
Yeah, for real.
You know?
So.
But I didn't know God then, bro. Like I didn't have a relationship with God.
Not at all.
Not at all. I didn't have the Holy Spirit inside me at that time.
Okay. That's good, man. Wow. I'm excited for where this is going too. This is awesome. You said you were smoking, you know, you were doing cocaine, you know, just being a young kid, man. You remind me a lot of one of my best friends growing up, dog. I think that was one of the reasons why I was like, you know how it is, sometimes you just connect with people, man.
Yeah.
And it's crazy like how all of those things shift. But how old were you when you started? I don't even know if that's the right question to ask, but did you know that you had a problem at this point? Like when you started getting really bad, was that something you were aware of, or were you just kind of?
Yeah, no, I definitely knew I had a problem at like probably like 18 or 19. Take it back to like the BX. I was like kind of heavier. I was never like big, but it started becoming a problem when the workers were like, hey man, you're looking skinnier. And at first you're like, oh yeah, that's what's up. Yeah. And then they're like, hey man, you're like losing a lot of weight.
You're like sunk in.
Yeah, bro. And so that's when I was like, all right, yeah, this is getting deep, you know, but that didn't stop me.
And what was your knowledge of recovery at that time? Did you know about
No, I didn't even know who to call or even where to start. Like that wasn't even an option.
Did you experience like physical withdrawal?
Yeah. Yep.
You had? Okay. I wasn't sure if you had just constantly had product and never really.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of my life, bro. Like every night pretty much, you know, I'd run out of dope that day and then I'd be sick and then go through that same struggle in the grind. Like, how do I get high again?
Okay.
So withdrawal was like a big part of my life.
Okay. And that was just with the oxys. Did you ever move on to anything harder than that?
Oh yeah. At 19 is when I started shooting heroin. My brother got out of prison and he had picked up heroin in there and the needle. And I was like smoking it by that time.
Okay.
And this is like right just before the armed robbery. And then like meth, you know, I'd met some guy at this apartment complex I was living on in 29th and Swan. And he was like an older cat and he would smoke meth. So I started smoking meth with him, like, and it was just like a daily thing, man. And yeah, like months later, I ended up getting caught for the armed robbery. My fingerprints finally came back in their system from like a stolen pair of jeans that I had tried stealing like months prior to that.
Wow.
Yeah, so everything like comes full circle.
Yeah, it does. And I don't think a lot of people realize that until they're deep in shit already. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, I mean, I truly believe in karma, and I truly believe that things come full circle.
Yeah, it saved my life, bro. Like all of it had to happen for me to get right here on this podcast, bro.
Amen.
When you went to jail, did your addiction continue in jail, or is that kind of the start of your recovery?
I would say kind of the start, because for one, I ran with the Mexicans in there. So like you can't literally get high unless you're like 24 on like opiates. You can smoke spice and stuff or
It's
whatever.
like one of the rules in there?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, you'll get messed up.
Damn, but they want you smoking spice. I'd be like, bro, I don't want you on that shit either.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, mainly like heroin, right? It was just like heroin and spice was really big in there at the time.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like I was cleaned up in there. That's when I farted. Like that's when like exercising really kind of like, that's when I found like exercising, like releasing those dopamines and endorphins. I was like, yo, I feel like I'm high right now doing this. And I really enjoyed it. And I started seeing progress and like my body changing.
Wow. Okay. So that's when that started.
Yep.
So for somebody who's like myself, you know, not to get too far off topic, but what was your workout routine in there? Like what?
Push-ups, pull-ups, and dips.
Just all calisthenics.
Yep. No free weights. Now, unless you made like a water bag or like sandbags, but the cops would take that quick. So really like push-ups, pull-ups, and dips.
Really?
Yep.
And it was something you did every single day. How long were you doing that as a routine?
I was in there for like 4 years. So pretty regularly, like it was mandatory to work out too.
It was.
Yeah. So like you better get your hour in at least. But then you're just like chilling with the homies, right? And you're just out there like hitting sets just because you don't want to be like inside all day.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I mean, that's just consistency is what I hear. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's nothing else to do.
Right.
Wake up. You want to feel something. You know,
exactly.
gotta get moving.
Yeah. It's literally a high, bro. I still feel that same high today when, and it doesn't take long. I'm in there for 30 minutes and I really feel like I did a fat shot or something.
Damn, that's crazy. What, like, how many push-ups, dips, and pull-ups were you doing?
I mean, probably like 5 sets of 10 each on the pull-ups, you know, nothing crazy, but
Nothing
maybe
crazy.
a few hundred push-ups.
Okay. Because I'm trying to get to like 300 a day. So I'm like, I don't know what, I'm trying to like just kind of look at people and see what their routines are. Because I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing like a G, just knocking them out. Like, I don't know how many people do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm also bigger too. So.
Right. I think whatever like works for you, man. Like we can compare all day, right? But like everyone has a different body type. Everyone has different genetics.
Yeah.
So it's kind of so easy getting wrapped up in like, dang, that guy looks like that and he's doing X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to try X, Y, and Z, but you still look the same, like, or you're not seeing those results. So you just got to find like what works for you, man.
Yeah.
And really just get that heart rate up.
Yeah. I fell in love with calisthenics, man. Like my whole thing with the calisthenics is like, you know, so many of us want to utilize weights and get into the gym and bench press and all that shit. But it's like, how many push-ups can you do, bro? If you can't even do 10 push-ups, you have no business lifting those weights.
Yeah, 100%.
Master what God gave you first.
Yeah.
Pull your body up first.
Exactly.
Get that first and then throw the vest on and then do all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like my thought process with it or whatever. But no. We'll continue and then we'll get back to that in a little bit, man.
Yeah. You see my eyes light up when you talk about that.
Yeah,
I get excited.
I love it, bro. I love it because that's exactly, I mean, it's just like anything else with recovery, with working out. It's a fellowship. Having other brothers that are doing the same thing and involved in the same thing, it motivates you.
Yep.
Because sometimes like my buddy Matt, who's always in here, he talks about the ladle and bucket thing. You know, sometimes you're busy here emptying out your bucket, giving motivation, positivity to other people, but you need somebody to put stuff back in your bucket to help lift you up.
To pour back into you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So let's get back, man. So you got out of prison. You said that you started using intravenously, right?
Oh yeah. IV use. And then, so I got out of prison. Let's like fast forward, got out of prison and I didn't stay sober for too long, man. Like now I at least knew how to hide it. I at least knew how like definitely don't commit armed robberies. Like if you're going to get high, right?
Yeah.
You know, and just like kind of hustle. So I remained like an addict probably until like, man, 28 years old, bro. So it was like 5 more years of just like kind of like shooting dope, smoking meth and just kind of ripping and running in the streets.
Wow. And You still had a pretty good relationship with your mom at this time, though, and your brothers?
Yeah. My brother, man, he was deep in it too. So like we're not really that close, man. Me and my brother, to be honest. But like when we were getting high, we were really close.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a trip.
Yeah, that is weird, man.
Yeah, it's a weird dynamic, bro.
That's how the enemy works too.
Yeah.
You know, so all right. So up until that point, 28 years old, you had not thought about sobriety. You had not, or maybe you had, but you didn't even know what your first step was.
Right. Yeah, until like I don't know how, or maybe I heard about the ARC or something. Like maybe the streets were talking, right? Like you talk to other addicts, and they're like, "Oh, go to the ARC or something." But I remember like searching like detoxes near me or something, right? And I don't know how the seed got planted, but that's what I ended up doing to find like how to get sober, because it just started becoming too much, man. Like that daily grind of getting high, then withdrawing, then feeling sick, and then just to feel like I wasn't even getting high no more. And I'm sure you hear that all the time.
Yeah.
Like you're just getting well.
Yeah.
Like you're just normal. Yeah. Like how we're sitting here normal. That's
all it was.
That's all it was.
Man, and I mean, and then also dealing with the fact that you're getting older, you know, life starts coming at you, even though you're not old at all at 28, but it's like, yo, you start looking at your homies and shit at 28 years old.
Successful.
They're having kids. They're getting ready they got 10 years till they retire. They're going to start another, you know what I mean? You start thinking all these thoughts, but you can't really, I heard a client one time say the age that you're at when you start using drugs is the same age that you're at when you stop.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, so you could be 14 years old if you're using for 10 years, 28. You know what I'm saying? You're at 14 still. Yeah. Maybe you've grown and you've learned some stuff on the way, but as far as life goes and moving forward, you got to start all over.
Definitely in terms of like leveling your success too, right? Or measuring your success rather.
Yeah, man. So, all right. So ARC was the first place that you came to?
Ever for treatment, bro. The only place I've ever detoxed at, the only place I've ever done residential at.
And that first time that we met was the first time that you had ever came in?
For residential, yeah. I detoxed before they sent me out with like a script of Suboxones. I did good for about a month, and I'm back shooting dope.
Okay.
So at the time, it was hard to get into residential, bro. Like it was only like on like scholarship type deals. And this was new, bro. It was a new program at the time. So I feel like they were trying to like figure it out at the time too. You know, some things went on. You know, like I said, I got out of detox, came back, because I needed a detox again. This is probably months down the road. And then I was able to get into residential.
All right. That's what's up. And how many times had you detoxed before you came to residential?
Just the once, like an actual like medical detox. I mean, I've tried detoxing on my own hundreds and thousands of times.
Oh man. Okay. And was it any different, you know, detoxing in a facility like this than it is just like kicking it on the concrete floor at your own house? You know what I mean?
Yeah, big time, way different. You felt the love, you know, the compassion of the nurses and stuff, and like just seeing the, like other people kind of wanting it too. When you're on your own, bro, like we kind of like bring up God a lot, right? Like when you're alone, man, that's like when the lies kind of start pouring in, and then like, oh, you can just go get high, or you know, there's no like kind of what you said, like with the working out, that brotherhood's not there. When you're around other people who like kind of want it too, that fuels you.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought of it that way, man. I mean, it's like you're up there on that floor. When I would work the floor as a BHT, it was, you know, for me, I love being positive and out there, and, you know, and when I was in detox, I felt like it would drain my spirit a little bit because, I mean, it really is. It's dark. It's just a darker feel. I mean, a lot of people aren't feeling their best at all when they're in that detox.
Yeah.
So it's more like, hey, let's get up. Let's go, you know, smoke a cigarette or whatever, you know what I mean? But you can just feel that everyone is they're just trying. And it's hard because you start dealing with people that are like, yo, I need to go. I need to go get my shit. I'm out of here. I got to go. And you're like, bro, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a hard spot for me to be, man. But I'm glad that you know, that you came back and did it again too, you know, because I know like for certain clients, it's like there's like a guilt or a shame. Like, oh, I've been here once. I can't step foot back in there. You know, what are they going to think?
Yep,
you know?
that's a big stigma, bro, that a lot of people like have to deal with, you know. But I mean, if you're able to, like, that just comes down to pride, right? Like, yeah,
that's real.
You know, like you got to be able to swallow your pride and just even asking for help. Like, doesn't matter how many times you fall, and you know, like if you're willing to ask for help, that's where it starts.
Yeah, I don't know who this message is for, man, but if you're listening, you know, bring your ass back in here. Don't be worrying about those types of things.
No, not at all, man.
Because in the end, I mean, it doesn't matter. What people think, it does not matter. We're here. This is a battle of the spirit, and we need to support and love one another. Every single person who works here knows how the enemy works. We know that he's going to continue to keep knocking at that door, you know? So, but yeah, man, so that's awesome. So you came to residential. How was that experience for you?
It was cool, man. Like I've never been to rehab before. I almost felt like I wasn't like good enough to be here or something. Like,
really,
I don't deserve this, you know?
Man.
But yeah, it was cool, man. You know, I only got access, so it's not like,
yeah.
But yeah, no, it was really nice, bro. Like I just, like I said, I've been to prison, bro. I've been on the streets. So like having like your own hotel room, it's like, damn, this place is nice, bro.
That's what's up.
Some people hate on it, bro, but it's like, yo, like where were you at? You know, like, man, not everyone like has kind of, you know, been down in the dumps or whatever, but like, man, it's nice.
Yeah.
Like,
well, thank God you were able to see that, man, and to be able to stay focused and do what you needed to do. I'm curious. Was there a moment in particular that you can put like your finger on where you finally decided like this is something that I want to do?
Actually, yeah, this is like where it started, bro. As far as like, cause I work in this field now, man. You know, I'm an admissions coordinator. I've came back and worked here at the ARC. I've been in the field for like 2 years, and it started with me coming into residential and talking with, you know, BHTs and then looking at them and be like, yo, if this dude can do this, like he's getting paid right now just to chop it up with me, like,
yeah,
and smoke cigarettes with me, like, bro, this is the chillest job in the world.
Yeah.
Like, how do I do this?
Yeah.
And so that's really like what started my whole journey, as far as like, for one, wanting to stay sober, for two, like I'm tired of busting my back, bro, and like doing landscaping or, you know, some just out there in the sun working for, like, man, it's doing BHT work is like kind of what started it. And by me seeing like other BHTs and talking with them, that's what planted the seed of like me wanting to come and work in this field.
That's cool, man. I think that's a very special thing, man. I mean, I could just imagine from your perspective coming in and seeing that, you know what I mean? Like how cool. And, you know, I remember when you came in, bro, you were always so positive. Like from the moment I met you, you were super positive and everything, right? And I guess now would be the perfect time to kind of to tap into this and talk about this. But this was during COVID, so it was 2020, and I mean, I'm a father, you know, I'm a husband, and I'm genuinely scared, dog. It's like, you know, I'm doing these workouts here. I started without any experience. My experience before we started doing the workouts was P90X, dog. That was my experience with the workouts, bro.
Yeah.
So you come in, I think it was close to about a year that I was doing these workouts, and it was always that fear of like, okay, we're gonna get into the room, the conference room, and I'm gonna put the music on, and I'm gonna try and set like the good mood, right? And I hope and pray that people stay. Like I hope and pray that people stay, because I think people were like, yeah, bro, I mean, he's like I don't know if this is what people thought, but like he's a big dude. What kind of workouts are we gonna do? Like I'll come in or whatever. But then we would start doing the workouts and people be like, I'm out, bro. Like I'm not doing this shit right now. I'm not even feeling good, dog. I'm still detoxing or whatever, you know? And when you came, bro, it was like, I don't know if you've ever noticed this about yourself, but you have a lot of leadership qualities about you. You came in, head held high. You know, you're not a small dude either. You're pretty tall, and you're like, yo, bro, what are we doing? And I was like, yo, we're doing these workouts. Like we're doing some calisthenics or whatever, push-ups. And you just like, yeah, like for real? And I was like, yeah. You're like, all right, I'll be right back. And I remember you changed and you came, dog. You got the yoga mat and you put it right in front of the class, and you were like all enthusiastic about it, dog. Yeah. And I remember after we finished the workout, I remember I called my wife and I was like, yo, that was one of the best classes I've ever had. Like, I think I was even bragging, like, you know, this dude came through, he helped like motivate the class and everything. Do you remember that?
I do vaguely, man. Like, and here's the thing, bro, like I just love working out so much. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's cool. Like that's so cool that like had an effect on you, bro. Like when you were like kind of like struggling, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think what really made me just extremely grateful, and this says a lot about your character. So I wanted to make sure that I talked about this. I don't even know if you remember this, man, but I got COVID on Christmas Day, 2020. It was Christmas Day. I woke up, I'll never forget, 104.7 my temperature on Christmas Day. And I called, and at this time it was like 2 weeks. You have to be gone for 2 weeks. Don't bring your ass back. Don't be getting nobody sick.
Yeah.
And I knew it was going to come because we were all together. Like, you know, we're doing our best to keep things down, but it's like, bro, we're working out. I am not going to work out with a mask on. Like that shit ain't happening. We still need mental health, you know, is so important. Like we still need to fight against this depression and this anxiety. And the only way to do that is to get your ass on the floor and do a burpee. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we have to do this. So when I called and I told them, I was like, dude, I'm sick or whatever. I was like, bro, 2 weeks. like 2 weeks. I didn't get a chance to talk to nobody. I didn't get a chance to say or touch base with anybody. And when it came to the working out, there was nobody else in charge but me. I took care of the mats. I took care of the music. You know what I'm saying? Like the workouts, like there was no one really bounce it off of because it was like a unique little position, right? 2 weeks I spent away. And for 2 weeks, bro, my body's like deteriorated. I felt like crap. I came back after 2 weeks and I was finally ready to get in these workouts again. And I was very insecure because I could just feel like that 2 weeks I wasn't eating. My body was just like, I just felt like my muscle had gone. I wasn't feeling good. I don't know if you remember OG COVID, but that shit sucked, bro. Yeah. It was horrible. And I came back, dog, and you just the same Justin, dog. You were like enthusiastic and you're like, Buddha, I got you, bro. I ran these groups for the last 2 weeks for you, no problem. Like you had just taken control. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do, man. And it was pretty easy, man. Like all we had to do was just be like, hey, this is like what we're still trying to do. You know, thank God for and it just shows like the testament to God, bro. Like, you know, like God knows we still needed that, man. Like just because like one fell off, like let's not all of us still like go through it.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, man, the BHTs, like they were cool. They opened up the door for us and we kind of knew what to do.
Yeah.
You know, the mats were there, man. And some guy took the remote and they had to tell us a couple of times to turn the music down a little lower. But,
of course.
You know, we were getting it, man.
No, that's so cool, dude. And that meant so much to me because yeah, you say, you know, one fell off and, you know, we just kept going, but you know damn well, because you've worked in this field before. The majority of the time it's like there has to be some leader, somebody to step in place until that switch is flipped and until you're motivated to get those workouts in and to do better. You need that constant, you know, it's like a match to a match, bro. The burnt match always will help light the other one, right? And you did that not only for the rest of the people that were here, but you did that for myself. When I came back, bro, I didn't have to worry about like, okay, like people are in and out constantly. I'm going to have a whole room full of 70 dudes. I don't know what to do. They're going to be looking at me like, yo, this dude can't even, like, I felt very, very insecure. And I felt very, very like, I guess you could say like alone at that time, dog, just because I was still trying to figure things out, man. So from the bottom of my heart, Justin, like, I really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for stepping in and doing that.
Of course,
dog.
Man. Of course. I'll do it again if I had to.
Yeah, for reals. That was such a crazy time, dude. That was such a crazy time. So, man, yes, I wanted to make sure I said that, dog, because that was like, for me, you know, going back to the whole working out thing, man, like that was a huge motivation for me. And you guys were so patient with me. We were doing the whole deck of cards at that time. I remember that was one of my favorite workouts. I don't know if it was you who showed it to me. I can't remember, but we did the whole deck of cards and it was like every Tuesday. It was like, we're doing this deck, you know. We came back and you guys were like, bro, it's cool. Like, take your time, get back, take it, you know, chill. I was just completely weak, man. And we got it, man. I wouldn't have been able to do it if it wasn't for you, bro.
Yeah. And here's the thing, man, they have a gym here, but the gym, because of COVID, like it was closed.
Yeah.
So we were just down to like our own like body weight, kind of like what you're saying, like just push-ups, man, and like different variations of like, you know, body weight exercises.
Yeah, that was it.
Just in an empty room.
That was it, man. And I loved it, man, because like it was just like at the end you were ready to go more. There's people walking out throwing up, dog, and you're like, let's go again. I'm ready. Yeah. So
yeah, I love it, man.
That's cool. So after that happened, man, you left. I know we've talked about God a little bit, but at what part of your recovery or what part of your life did that relationship really start to grow?
Oh, man. So something happened to me, bro, that like changed my life forever, that like led me to, you know, pick up the Bible on my own, led me to start seeking on my own. So I believe it was like March 23rd of 2020. So mind you, man, like before I came back to like work as a BHT, like I was still, you know, kind of dabbling in like some other drugs, if you will, man. Like psychedelics was like a really big thing of mine.
This was after you graduated?
Before, I think.
Oh, before? Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, bro, like I'm just going to be real, man. Like something really crazy happened to me on psychedelics and it ended up taking me to the hospital.
Wow.
But it was like an ordeal. So now this was like when COVID was still going on. And I stayed with an ex-girlfriend right up the street, right up here off Sabino Canyon and Cloud. And one morning I took like a bunch of LSD and yeah, it's going to get really real right here, guys.
That's good.
But this changed my life forever, like in a crazy way, man, like where I have no doubt about God. Basically like my buddy and I like, and it was just me who had like taken it and we were supposed to go out to my mom's house to move some couches from a shed into our new house that we had just bought a property at. And like on the way back, it started kind of turning on me, if you will. And this is like a speeding up version of this whole event. I took it at like 7 a.m. I didn't walk out of the hospital till like 8 p.m.
Man.
But basically, long story short, man, I had like some biblical visions. I had like a whole cross on my back, and my buddy couldn't even like pick me up. Like he felt the weight of the cross on me, and like people are coming out, the ambulance is there. They're hitting me with like liquid Ativan, ketamine, trying to like bring me out of this trip, if you will. So yeah, like that's just like a little like short, brief description of what like really led me to pick up the Bible, bro, on my own. Is that day I got changed forever.
Really?
100%.
Damn, man. I mean, you don't have to go deeper. I'm just curious. Like, what else did you see like that really, are you able to talk about that?
Yeah, man. I seen like my whole life kind of like in a book. Like imagine flicking a book, like the pages of the book, right?
Yeah.
From the beginning to like to that moment when I was like laying on the ground, and I had no shirt, no shoes, no socks on. I was just in jean shorts because we got done like playing in some water in one of the Tanque Verde washes from like where the mountain like runs off all the fresh water, right? So we were out there, and I just kept feeling weird about my buddy, man. And like as I was getting further away from him, it felt like I was learning more, if you will.
Yeah.
And he didn't want that. Like, and I had like, and eventually like it got to like the point, like we got back to the neighborhood where I was living, and we didn't even make it inside the alley to the house where I was staying. And like, I just ended up like running down the street, like screaming, and like, just, it was an ordeal, bro. It was like this crazy thing where almost looked like a psychotic break, I'm sure, from like outside looking in.
Wow.
You know, but, yeah, man, like I kept crying out to God, like, all right, I get it. I'm sorry. I kept saying that like over and over for hours, bro. This happened this was like a 2-hour event that happened.
Wow.
So yeah, man, like I just remember like being on a dirt street while I was in like the middle of the street in like a suburb, and like everything was like a dirt street, bro. And I was carrying a cross on this dirt street on my back, like walking, almost like how Jesus was carrying his cross.
Man, wow. So he smacked you upside your head pretty much. It was like, bro, you're going to listen.
My whole life changed, bro, because of that.
Wow.
Everybody encounters God differently, but there's some stories that you hear of other people articulating their God experience, and it's just ones you can't even like think up in your head.
Hey, brother, we're in the middle of recording. Sorry, man. Some just went ahead and just walked on in, apparently.
He's all, God? You heard God. He wanted some.
Hey, it's all good.
Yeah.
Man, that's great. So you said that situation alone made you pick up the Bible.
Yeah, bro.
Start reading it.
100%, man. And then like on my own willingly, right? And seeking. And then so that's like what started my walk. Now it wasn't like immediately, bro, I'm up praising God and like, yes, Jesus this, Jesus that. Like, nah, man, it was a slow progression. But every time that I would like think back on that day, I'm like, yo, that really happened to me. Like there was witnesses of that day. Like, bro, I even went back to a neighbor who witnessed it that day because I had a disability case going on, and I was like just trying to like sell mushrooms for my whole life and like just collect a disability check at one point.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, I'm going to use that incident to my advantage, saying like it was a psychotic break. Like they couldn't prove that I was on acid. Like they could only prove that I had the medicine in my body that I was prescribed to, right? So I was just going to use that to my benefit, benefit from the land. And then I knocked on the lady's door, one of the witnesses who had seen it that day. And bro, she looked shocked. Like she seen like a ghost when I was at her front door. She was like, what the heck? And I was like, hey, check it out. Like, I don't really remember anything from that day. Would you mind writing like a witness statement for me of what you've seen? So on my phone, I still have the email today, man, of what she's seen in her perspective of that day.
Man.
Yep.
And how did your relationship grow with God at that time? Like just other than reading the Bible, did you start going to church?
Yeah. So I sought out like a Christian church. I knew I'd already done the Catholic thing, and it was confusing for me. Like I didn't really, I didn't really gain anything from that. So I was like, you know what? Like I want to go to a Christian church, man. And then I found a Christian church. I went, ended up getting saved. I'm still best friends with, he was the minister at the time, and he was the minister of that church. I'm not going to mention the name of the church. Like we're not affiliated with that church anymore, but like all of it saved my life, man. And now he's the pastor of his own church. It's called The Way, and located in the same neighborhood that I think
I heard of that. My brother, Brad, that just came on. I think he's going to be working with The Way Church.
Does he have a one leg?
Brad Sibley.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's my wife's cousin. He was just here on the podcast. His episode just dropped today, as a matter of fact.
Yo, yeah, that's Brad, man.
You know Brad?
Yeah.
Shout out to Brad. I'm gonna give you a call after this, bro.
Yeah, Brad.
I got Justin in here, man.
Hey,
this
man,
is my boy.
Isn't that wild how God works, bro? Like, all of us are connected in like one way or another, bro.
Yeah.
Like through people, through like, bro, what is it? Like, dog.
I know, that's weird. And you know what's weird is my wife and I, we moved out to Sahuarita, and we've been looking for a church. That's like been like our new thing, because we were at Victory at Zion City now, and I love it there, dog. But I'm not trying to drive 2 hours to get there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so, but no, I mean, dude, I think it's amazing how God is working in different ways too. You know, I mean, it's like right now with the podcast, you know, it's here editing for hours on episodes and stuff, and it's like I have to pray in the morning, like, God, remind me. And keep me grounded and remind me that we're doing this for a mission. Through every episode that comes out, there's somebody that's hearing another testimony. There's somebody who's opening up. Like, there's a reason why God connects us all together. I truly do believe that.
Man, and that's so awesome that they're allowing you to do this, bro, because here's the thing, like, and this is just the reality of things, man. Like, God is kind of it's a touchy subject, right? Like, not a lot of people are want to hear it or even open to hearing about God. So when I had first like kind of heard my wife's story, I'm like, yo, that's cool, man. Like they really like just got real, you know, and then they weren't afraid to like just talk about truth and God, you know, God in himself. So yeah, that's like one of the other reasons why I was like, yeah, of course I'll go. Yeah.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that, you know, and it's definitely true. God works in different ways, and we're two or more gather. You know, Michaela's with us. There's three of us, bro. You know, he's here right now, so I'm very grateful for that, man. So, you know, you said that you found the church. You know, you started getting closer to your fellowship. How has your life changed since then, Justin? Like, what you're completely sober now. You don't.
Yeah,
you know
I'm completely sober now, man.
That's good.
You know, it was a long road, bro. But here's the thing: like when I got saved, man, like the Holy Spirit, it comes and lives inside of you. Like this is an act of God. You know, you go down in the water and you're raised to live a new life, bro, and that's in Christ. So the Holy Spirit comes and lives inside of you. It's you know, it's a really thing. And so now I have conviction. Before I was just like kind of the world. I had like, you know, my conscience. But my conscience was so dirty, bro. Like, and I would never even listen to it. Now, like I was saying, like I mentioned earlier, like, bro, I was a thief before. I was a liar. I was a murderer in my heart. And now it's like, you know, and I'm not perfect, bro, but I also strive now. And like, for instance, man, like I can't even look like at a pack of gum cross-eyed in the store when before I could just steal it so easily, right?
Yeah.
And little things like that, man. So I get convicted now. You know, I'm married.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. And that's another thing, bro. Like I told you, my mom taught me to be a player, bro. Like I was going to get a tattoo in prison on my marriage finger that said never that.
Okay.
So that just kind of goes to show you how God's like really changed my heart on that aspect.
Yeah. No, that's really sweet. I remember Angelique talking about how when you guys got close, you guys were reading scriptures together.
Yeah.
And I mean, what a beautiful way to start a foundation, man, is to have that. That's something that my wife and I, you know, so my wife is Catholic, just to give you a little bit. She's Catholic and I was raised Catholic, but became a Christian, right? So when we first got together, it was like, you know, are we raising the kids Catholic? We raising them Christian? But you know what? I mean, we've learned to kind of mesh together, and either way, whether she's Catholic, I'm Christian or whatever, we still have that relationship with God. So it's gotten to the point now where it's like, I will go to a Catholic church because they're reading scripture, dog. Like it might not be the same thing that I get over here at Victory, but I'm able to still pick up on it. And my wife is more than willing to come through to my church and do the same thing, you know? And that's what relationships all about. But God has to be that foundation, man.
Yeah, definitely, bro. It's like a triangle, man. Like my wife and I are at the bottom and God's at the top.
Bro. That's one of the things. All right, go ahead. What else were you going to say?
No, that's the foundation.
Okay, man. So check this out with that triangle thing. I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but this is something that I gave this to my wife on a card, and it has the triangle, right? And it has you and your wife right here, and it has God. And then it said, the closer that you guys move to God, the closer that you get to each other. And that to me has always been like a beautiful thing. I saw that at a wedding one time, and it was like, yeah, as long as you get close to God, you guys are going to get close to each other. That's how it goes.
Yeah, bro. My love for her was not enough to marry her. Like it took a lot of like talking with my pastor, bro, and my leader, you know, and at the end of the day, bro, it's to honor God.
Amen.
You know, because for one, like I was convicted, like, you know, I'm just going to be real transparent. Like we would, you know, be laying outside of marriage, bro. And that would really hurt my heart because I've already started a relationship with God. So I know I'm not making God happy, man, by doing that. Like if I'm going to believe in God, I'm going to believe in the full word of the whole Bible. Right. So, you know, and I'll be convicted about that. So I'm just like, man, this is an ugly feeling. Like, and it wasn't so we can like just sleep, of course, and just, you know what I'm saying, be married just so we can sleep together. Like, nah, man. But my love for her was not enough. Like it was my love for God that allowed me to marry her.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's amazing, man. I'm so proud of you and so grateful to hear that, you know, it's just an incredible transformation, dog. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. So real quick, before we end this, I wanted to dabble into your brain a little bit. This is for me right now. Okay. This conversation, this is something that I need. So motivation for somebody who needs to get their butt up every day, bro. What advice would you get them? Because that's been the struggle with me. Working out every day, I'm going to doing the podcast every day. Now it's my responsibility after 2 years to get up, to stay healthy, to eat right. The eating part, I don't really have a problem with anymore.
Right.
It's the getting up and doing it every single day because I'm working, you know, sometimes I'll wake up at 6 and I'll go till 6, 7 o'clock. And it's like getting home, I still help making dinner, washing dishes, taking kids to activities, doing things like that. And it's like, I would rather spend time with the family than to be like, yo, I'm going to go get it in real quick type of thing. Right. So what advice would you give somebody on that point, bro? Like to keep pushing.
Yeah. Just honestly to like, just keep trying, bro. And everyone's situation is different, bro. Cause you got the kids, right? I don't have that to deal with yet.
Yeah.
You know, so just don't get so down on yourself, man, if you do miss a day. But at the same time, it's like, here's the thing, nothing bad comes from it and only something positive. It's almost like someone who's smoking cigarettes, right? Which I've, you know, by the glory of God, I've been able to stop too, or nicotine.
Yeah.
And when you're doing those things, bro, you're always just like, well, I could do it tomorrow or I could do it the next day. Like you want to start or you want to quit, but you're just like, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. And it's like, eventually, man, it's going to get to the point where like, you're either so big, and like, you're like, it's just so hard for you now to do that. So it's like, just start now, man. Just start small and just kind of like ease your way into things. And eventually, like kind of like what Michaela was saying, you develop that routine. Just like brushing my teeth, bro. Just like going doo-doo. Like, I'm not going to not wipe my butt.
It's true.
Like,
it's true.
You know, like I'm not going to not work out, man.
Yeah.
And it just becomes like, you know, part of you.
Do you have days that you do miss ever?
Yeah, you know, whether it's like I got an appointment or something like that, but it's like, it's into my routine, man, you know?
Okay.
Like my work knows, bro, like give me my 2 hours.
Okay.
That's my me time. That's the dojo.
Yeah, that's good, man. I mean, that's been one of my things is, do you follow any type of like YouTube channels and stuff like that?
Not really, man, but I do look at like a couple of cats, dude. This guy, I think Simeon Panda's his name.
Oh, he's dope, dude. That guy's got one of the most amazing physiques I've ever seen.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, he's a beast, bro. And then, what was it? What's that other? Oh, Mike Rashid. It's his buddy. He works.
The one with the dreads.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think so. He doesn't look as good as Simeon though.
He claims to be he's a vegan, but like, man, he's a big vegan, bro. I've never met.
You think? I think Simeon is on PEDs though, without a doubt. That can't be a natural physique, bro. Like when I think of natural physiques, I think of like Chris Heria.
Okay.
You know who Chris Heria is? He has the NX on YouTube, but he's like, he bases on like, so my whole reason for wanting to get into working out was to be able to do a planche push-up. And the planche push-up is being able to have your hands at your waistline and to be able to lift your whole body up without your feet touching the ground.
Okay.
Like that's a planche push-up. So for me, calisthenics and gymnastics are the things that I'm really trying to work towards, but it takes extra for me because I have an endomorph body. So I'm not like a slender physique. You know, I have to work my ass to that point, and it's probably not going to be until I start putting the vest on where I'm able to actually do those types of things.
Yeah.
You know? So
my best advice, bro, is don't let no one slow you down, bro. Like I got buddies who I work with, man. I'm not going to name drop here, but like they always want like, yo, we're going to hit it today. We're going to hit it today. And like, I started like working out with them just to like kind of like hang out. But then I started sacrificing my own gains, bro. And I'm like, yo, that's not cool, man. Like I worked way too hard to like kind of get where I'm at. And if someone's not like either one above you, it's kind of like iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to, and I'm not saying like nothing to the lesser guy. Like they got to start somewhere too if they're willing to work with someone who's on a greater level.
Yeah.
You know, but like don't let no one slow you down, bro. Because that's like a big thing, man. You can definitely get caught up in like their routine.
Yeah.
You know, you got to develop your own routine that works for you.
Okay. I think for me, one of the biggest struggles I have is like, you know, it's wind down time. Like I'm home, dishes are clean. It's 9 o'clock, 9:30. And it's like, I haven't seen my wife all day. Well, we've seen each other, but it's more like business associates and shit. It's like the WWE when you tag, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that person comes out of the ring and you're just standing there in the corner. Like we're always doing something. So it's like, I want to spend that time, but then I'm like, man, I could be getting that shit in right now, you know? But I have learned that doing it together though, like when my wife and I do work out together, whatever, it is cool. But it's like sometimes I just want to be a fat ass on the couch too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like fighting with yourself. But
it's a battle, bro. It's an internal battle.
It's an internal battle. But it's true. I mean, I see you said 5 days a week you're getting.
Yeah, like Monday through Friday. And I break down body parts, bro. So it's not like I'm killing the same thing every day. You know, instance, yesterday was shoulders. Today's going to be back. Wednesday's chest.
Okay. All natural. You ain't messing with, do you pre-workout, anything like that?
No, just black coffee, bro. Pre-workout. Man. Yeah, it's too much for me. Plus it's too late in the day. Like I go in the evening, so I already have problems sleeping as it is, bro. Like, I got hella insomnia, but if I do pre-workout, it's just, I won't sleep at all. Yeah. You know,
that's cool.
But no, like as far as that, like just I'll do creatine and protein, bro. Like the pro hormones or like SARMs or anything like that. Anyone listening, bro, like don't mess with that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that's just going to jack up your head, bro. And you're going to go bald and you're going to go like, it's just not good. Like
small balls and everything.
Yeah, man.
Your testosterone.
Right. I know a lot of people who've really jacked themselves up because of those things. And yeah, you may think it's like benefiting you now, but it's like, dude, it's not going to be good in the long run.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that goes with everything. Even like with recovery, we're talking about, you know, there's no magic pill, right? Nope. The Suboxone is there, and it's a good thing that they have Suboxone, but you're supposed to do shit to get off of it afterwards, or else you just get hooked on that. And I think it's the same with the PEDs and stuff. I mean, a lot of people are so focused on their vanity that they're losing. What did we have? Thomas came in here the other day. He said that his dad told him to, whenever you're in the woods, to enjoy the nature, but don't focus so much on the blemishes of the trees, right? So I think by taking PEDs, by doing substances like that, you're not focusing on the beauty. Right. You're focusing on the blemishes. Like I'm not good enough. I'm not big enough, or whatever it may be. Yeah. And it's a journey, dog, just like anything else. Yep. I kind of knew going into it. Well, I'm still learning, but I thought after like 2-3 years, I'd be beast mode, just like Ray when he was locked up, bro, doing pull-ups and just killing it. But I ain't there yet. But I know I'm also not going to get there like taking a week off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just consistency, man. You know, just consistency. And all it takes is about like 45 minutes, man. Not even an hour, you know.
45 minutes.
Yeah, we have 24 hours in a day, so.
That's real.
Just kind of make that time, bro.
That's real. And even hearing you talk now, it's like all the bullshit excuses that I had before this episode are like, come on, dog, you know what to do.
Yeah.
You know, you put in all the time you spend on your phone. Yep. All the time, you know, going to the bathroom or whatever it is that you're doing when you're not being productive. That's 45 minutes at least right there.
Kind of goes with God too, bro. Like gotta make time for the Lord, bro. You know, I can get caught up watching Naked and Afraid with my wife, but like we read scriptures together too now, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta be the one to be like, all right, hey, it's time to like, let's get in the word.
That's cool. You guys do that? How often do you guys do that every day?
We're trying to, man. We just kind of just started, you know, we're going from the beginning, from Genesis. You know, so, but yeah, we do enjoy it. Like we did that last night. So
that's cool, man.
Yep.
How much time do you guys spend in the word? Like an hour? Just give yourself, dedicate a little bit of time?
Yeah. We read about like 4 or 5 chapters. That's
cool.
Yep.
Eva, if you're listening, we need to do that. I got her a Bible for Mother's Day, just like everything else with the kids. You know, you're easily distracted or whatever. But I God knows, man. I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. You know, we're not perfect, but I think that's a beautiful thing that you and your wife are doing that.
It definitely helps, bro.
Yeah. And any when's plans for the babies, dog? When you guys gonna be having some kids?
Man, you know, hopefully soon, man.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. Well, I'm very proud of you, man, and all your progress, everything. Thank you so much for coming and blessing us today in the studio, man.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you so much. One thing before we log off, Buddha, what would be one thing that you say to someone out there that like could be struggling? Like I know you said you typed in free detox and that was kind of like what led you to go, but what would be like the advice you give to someone now that you're on the other side?
The advice is just to ask for help. You know, we're in the age of like the internet, right?
Yeah.
Everything's at the palm of our hands. Like all we have to do is just type in like detox near me and all kinds of stuff's gonna pop up. And you're gonna get someone like myself on the line like, hey, look, like you know, this is how you do it and this is how we go about doing it. But it just takes them like having that faith and the strength and the courage to ask for help. So like, man, sometimes you got to swallow your pride to ask for help. Sometimes, you know, it's going to suck. That's the hardest part sometimes, is asking for help.
Yeah.
But once you kind of get the ball rolling on that and someone invests in you, like, look, this is how we're going to do this together. You know, like, no, you're not alone out there. Like, whoever is listening who's like, damn, what do I do or how do I do this? Just ask for help. Like, that's the best part, the best advice I can give you. Like, reach out to someone, because someone out there cares, like, and someone will help you.
That's a huge point to touch on, is the isolation that you go through when you're hitting times of struggle or going through something that's hard. But in reality, even if it's not someone in your life currently, there is someone that's going to be out there when you do ask for help that is going to care about you getting help.
Yep, definitely.
And a very good reminder for people to have too.
Amen. Amen, man. Well, thank you. You know, once again, and ladies and gentlemen, if you're out there, man, give a big, warm round of applause once again to our brother Justin. Thank you so much, you know, for coming through and for sharing your story. And thank you, God, you know, for everything. I see another thing, man. I wanted to say a prayer before we started this podcast, and I got completely distracted. But God, I love you, and I thank you for watching over my brother, and continue, you know, praying for him and for his wife, and, you know, for Michaela and for Matt and for, you know, my family. And just thank you for all the blessings. And to everyone who's listening, man, I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your week. We will definitely see you on the next one. Much love and God bless. Peace. What's going on, everybody? This is Buddha from the ARCast, and I just wanted to thank you for checking out this week's episode. It means a lot, and if you could share it with a friend or a loved one, somebody in need in recovery, or maybe somebody who just needs that little bit of extra positivity in their life, we'd greatly appreciate it. If you would like to join us here on the ARCast, either in the studio live or online, hit us up. The links are down in the show notes of this episode, and on there, you can find direct links to our main website here at Americas Rehab Campus and all of our social media platforms. Follow us. We keep the posts positive and motivational, focused on recovery, health, and wellness. As you know, in this modern day and age, we need as much love as possible, y'all. And as always, if you or somebody you know is in need of substance abuse treatment, please don't hesitate to give us a call. We're open 24 hours a day, and our direct phone number is 1-833-272-7342. Once again, that phone number is 1-833-272-7342. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day. Much love and God bless. Peace.